All right. What's up, guys? We are live. Welcome back. Michael and Rob here, Lake Michigan Angler. Appreciate your patience. We had a couple customers in here that we had to get in and get out and take care of them. But man, thank you for joining us for our weekly fishing report live stream. We've got a banger of a live to share with you. Of course, we'll give you that fishing report. We're also going to talk about what's new here at the shop, and we'll always take your questions. So if you got any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. We'll go through and answer them to the best of our ability. And with that being said, we'll give folks here a chance to join the live. We just went live. And for those of you that are here, good morning. Give us a thumbs up if you guys can hear us and see us clearly. Good to have you back with us. Today, a little bit of a, off fishing day. I think we were kind of talking about it, Rob. We kind of need these days where it stops guys from going out here. And, what's the kind of thought process with that?
Oh, well, we had a few days of nice weather. It was like the nicest stretch we had for a little bit here.
Yeah.
Fishing was unreal good.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes if that weather doesn't change up on you, especially this time of year, the fishing doesn't really stay very good. The fish start to spread out. They get hit really hard. Water warms up a little bit. They start moving around. We pressure them out of here. So now we've got some nasty north winds that started yesterday morning or the night before, really. And it's rough and the water's dirty again. Kind of pushes fish back a little bit. Fish that were further north a lot of times come back down. They'll get out a little bit. And so then when things kind of settle down, clear up, it usually means we have really, really good fishing again.
So it's almost like a reset button in a way, because you're right. I mean, when you have too many days, too many nice fishable days, those fish are getting pounded. And we need those days of like resets. In the summertime, we're talking about like a north wind to reset the water. It's not always a bad thing. I think it opens up things long term and all that. So good morning to Mike. Kay, good morning. Melissa, good morning. Radu, good morning. Good morning, Sunny, Breezy, and Madison. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Chevy, Pavel. Good to see you. Let's see. Headed to the store now. Need hooks. Sounds good, Tony. When you come in, just come in quietly. I'm joking. Tim, good morning. Nice to see you guys all over here. Let's see. Rob, you want to talk about what we got new at the shop here? Got a couple items.
We just restocked the mini ninjas. They've been selling really good, so I got a bunch of these in now if you need them. If you were trying to order them, now you can order them again.
Yeah, and I've been running that guy. I love it. I've been running that on my 3-color. It holds it really well right off my kayak, and even running on the boats and stuff as well. So really cool. Convenient, and the one-hand operation, which is really, I think, the biggest sticking point.
Yep. We just got in a big selection of the salmon candy plugs with the chrome finished ones. We didn't have those last year, so now we've got the chrome ones right there, and all the different colors. Those are available online. And then what a lot of people have been waiting for is that 50/50 stubby. We're already almost sold out of them. If you need to get them quick.
Yeah.
And there'll be more on the way, but yeah, these just came in. I know a lot of people have been waiting for them because we sold out. Well, the first shipment of them sold out in like a couple hours.
Yeah.
So
LakeMichiganAngler.com to order those right now from whatever's left in our inventory. So there's that. Let's see. Any questions? How much longer till they aren't in anymore? Good question. Well, you have an interesting username, D. Honestly, we keep seeing this year. The last 5 years, like this Coho like the old way it used to be was like May was be like prime time, but like this is by all intents like this week was like prime time.
Yeah, and I guess it kind of depends on what you mean by inshore, where you can catch them from shore, right along the shoreline in a boat, or just in general out in front of us here where we can catch them all summer. The last few years, like we've been able to catch Cohos all summer long. They just aren't right along the shoreline.
Right.
Whereas back in the day, like mid-June, they kind of disappeared. So the shoreline bite, that's just going to depend on how things warm up. It depends on, the weather and the winds and stuff. But from what I see in the extended forecast, there's not any hot days coming up anytime soon. So I would say we're going to have a decent bite inside of 50 feet for quite a while.
Yeah.
But it's hard to predict. The shore fishing, usually middle of May, the shore fishing starts getting tougher.
Yeah. Take advantage. If you're shore fishing, man, you should be out there. I mean, the benefit is, even though today's like a no boating day because of the winds and all that stuff, you can still get on the pier heads and still fish in the channels. you still have opportunities to fish even when the weather's not, good for boat guys for the most part. As long as the waves ain't crashing over the pier heads, you can still fish that and still catch fish. So don't waste those opportunities. Take advantage of it before the fish push off away from where you have access to them on those pier heads and the shorelines and the beaches and stuff like that. Take advantage of it. But to Rob's point, it depends on our weather. If we have a slow kind of warm up, it'll prolong this kind of a fishing. If we get say next week, for example, it was all 80-degree weather, it's going to push that water temp up pretty quick up to the mid 50s. And that's going to do a lot to make that whole thing change. So we're really kind of just at the mercy of the weather and how fast or slow we warm up. Moji, what can I use for pier fishing as bait?
Well, lately, the guys fishing for Coho have been doing really good on tube jigs. Pearl tube jigs with waxies. They're a piece of shrimp under a slip bobber about 3-4 feet down. Yeah. Just casting it way out there. And here's kind of a tip that I've done, because I've had trouble finding the slip bobber weights to make your bobber heavy. I would take a fill slip bobber with stems, and on the bottom stem, I'd wrap it with solder, the lead, and just hot glue it on there, and you can cast that a mile then. And that's a really good way to fish off the piers. So any tinsel jigs, we have guys are coming in and buying Widowmaker tinsel jigs. It's 16th ounce. Those are really good. They haven't been too picky. Catch them on spinners like Flying Seas. Catch them on Castmasters, KO Wobblers, all that.
Scott P said, "Good morning. I have a question. I bought a quick release Ninja board. Do you tighten down the spring?"
If it's not holding for you, do.
Yeah, but normally at the
I've
box,
never had to on mine, but if it's not holding for you, I try tighten down the spring.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here before we get into the fishing report. Living Irie, hey guys, much love from Michigan. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, bro. F. Garo, good morning. Pick up boat today. Ready to go. Sounds good,
Nice.
man.
It's a good day then.
Yeah, yep. Salty Walrus, good morning from Lake Erie. Bring me back some walleye. Thank you. I wonder, I can't imagine you guys are fishing out there if the winds are over here like that. Probably might be blowing out there, maybe.
They hit it perfect. They came down while it was nice here. They hit the Cohos in Wisconsin and then in Illinois, and then they made their way over to Lake Erie.
Yeah. But that lake is way more susceptible to wind changes. That's a different body of water for sure. Mike said we fished Milwaukee on Thursday, and the fish and bait was stacked just outside the break wall, but nothing in the harbor. Okay. Kay said, "Hello, Buck from West Bend, Wisconsin. I'm planning to run Coho rigs on boards with 3-color and inline weight. What size weight do you recommend, and should the weight be on the inside or outside board?"
Most people are running 5/8 ounce weights. You can run anything around that, from 3/8 or half or 3/4.
Just keep them all the same though across all whatever weight. That way you can replicate your depths and stuff like that. So if you go with 5/8, stay 5/8. If you go with some other weight, that's what I recommend.
I actually like running the lead core out. If I'm just gonna run like a keel weight, what I would normally do is just have keel weights on one side of the boat and then your lead cores on the other side of the boat. It depends on how many boards you're running. If you're just doing 2 boards aside, if you want to do lead core and keel weights mixed on the same side, then I'll put the lead cores outside of the keel weights, and then just keep the keel weight boards close to the boat.
Okay. Chevy guys, small boat, need to pick and choose my days. Yep, that's true. Mr. Big Fish, ideal water temp range for Coho.
Well, usually we catch them in the low to mid 50s before they really start pushing off.
Ben asks, any suggestions on what hook and size to switch out on my spoons?
Depends on the size spoon, but most magnums come with size 1s and standards come with size 2s most of the time.
You got it? All right, cool. All right. Ron Cedar said, caught a king from shore today in Chicago. Congrats. We'll talk about the fish report here because Chicago absolutely lights out. Denny said, my new Ninja boards, can wait to try them. Thanks to another easy to buy experience. Do you guys wrap the line on them? No, I've never found the need to wrap the line on the Ninja boards. That the pad where you put your line in has been pretty solid. The only thing I will say about the pads is if you use braid, whatever braid line you have that you're running in there, it is possible. It is likely over time that that braid will cut into the pad, and so you'll actually see on the pad where it kind of cuts into. So what you can do is you don't have to change the pad out immediately. You could just put the line in away from where that gap is, and you can it'll hold there. And then eventually, once you've worn through that pad, you just get the replacements and change it out.
All right, sounds good.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Caustic said all cohos that I caught this season had adipose fins on them. Are those fish coming from natural reproduction? Not a single one with a clipped adipose fin.
Well, in the past, cohos were not clipped at all. I know this year Illinois clipped cohos, but I don't know about the other states.
Yeah.
So unless all the states are clipping them, doesn't really tell you anything.
Yeah, we really don't know. Good morning, Tony. Let's see here. Is there a reason I catch the cohos more in bad weather than good weather?
I usually catch fish in bad weather more than good weather, so just in general. Usually you get like a little less visibility, lower pressure sometimes, and the fishing's good.
Yep. Arnold said, thank you, Mike, for making the kayak safety videos. Really enjoy all your guys' content lately. Thank you, Arnold. Appreciate that, man. Hopefully that, if you guys are not familiar, if anybody does any kind of kayak fishing, I did put out a video addressing, we had a string of incidents with kayak anglers this past week, right?
Yeah, two
guys.
Two got wet this week.
Two went into the drink. Both of them were in the harbor, too, like in the channel in Waukegan. So, you know, it was long overdue for it to be addressed, but you got to be prepared if you're going out here. And honestly, this really stretches the boat guys too. You know, like you just got to be prepared. If you're in a boat, you got to make sure you have your radio, your flares, all the stuff that they require you to have, your life vest and all that stuff. It should be easily accessible in your boats. If you're in a kayak, you need to be wearing your PFD. You need to have a dry suit if you're going to fish in this cold water. You go in there, you're going to get hypothermia. You're going to have the initial shock. It's going to be bad news.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest thing is while you might be excited to take advantage of this kind of a fishing, you're seeing everybody catch them, and you're like, oh, I want to go try and catch a coho now. And you've never fished this body of water in a day in your life. You do not belong on the lake. You need it. It's baby steps. So don't full send it. Too many incidents are happening. Obviously, we don't want to see the worst happen. We also don't want to see rules and regulations come down the pipeline that are going to prohibit all of us from doing stuff because of a few folks that just want to.
I don't like rules.
I don't like them either. You know. So
I like it to be the Wild West. You're on your own. Your own fault.
So if you want to see that video, my channel's linked in the description below. You can check out that video and kind of get my ranty tips and stuff like that. Let's see here. We want to get to the report here. I'll take a couple more questions. I'll answer them back on the other side of the report, though. So actually, let's just do the report right now. We covered what's new here at the shop. So this week, Rob, you didn't fish much this week?
Earlier in the week, I got out.
Okay.
It was lock and load all week. I mean, there were people who never caught a coho before catching quick limits. And that was the entire week up until yesterday. Mm-hmm. So everything worked. Everything worked in shallow. I ran coho rigs, Dipsy out 12 feet with a stubby and a fly. Couldn't keep him off it. I was just fishing by myself one day. I never went past 25 feet. But it was the same report for everybody. The interesting thing was that, the guys that were trying to catch kings, that were sick of catching cohos, they're taking all their coho rigs out of the water and just putting king stuff in the water. They're catching the cohos even faster than when they had the coho rigs in the water. So one really good spoon this week was that Moonshine Atom Bomb. Magnums were doing pretty good around here for the guys in the boats. But, yeah, the stubbies, the next gen fly, the blue, green, and gold, which we just got back in. Blue Liz, Green Liz,
Midnight
Dragon, and the peanut was really good. All that stuff. But the reality is that you just need to put some baits in the water, though, and you're going to catch a bunch of fish.
Yep. So, for me, I went out 3 times this week. Like Rob said, absolutely phenomenal fishing. I started the week down in Chicago. Went out there with my buddy Captain Ernesto. We fished Chicago. And like Rob said, we went out and we're like, let's try and just focus on kings. So our spread was really heavily focused on spoons and paddles. We couldn't keep the coho off the paddle. We put a big 8-incher, a new one from Mr. Chrome, the gold one. Did he send us someone yet? I know he sent one for me to personally check out.
I don't know if we have that one.
Yeah, it's a new one that worked out. The mini flashers, just smoked, but it was easily the best fishing I've ever experienced in Chicago for kings. We knocked them dead. It was incredible. We went 5 for 7 on kings, and we caught about a 15 to 17 pound laker, 4 coho for our 2-man limit. I'll tell you what, the half A-bomb super slim on a 3-color took 3 kings on a 3-color. Absolutely smoked them. We took another. This guy went 1 for 2. The Gold Rasta Goose super slim on a 3-color. Took another king. And then our last king came on the Moonshine Raspberry Carbon off a rigger, and that rigger was down about 15 to 17 feet down. I've never had so many kings in Chicago. It was absolutely insane fishing. All of them were in that 10 to 12 pound range, so pretty cookie cutter, but it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. What I will say is, we had other spoons out. They wouldn't hit the mags. Other than just the Moonshine Raspberry Carbon, they wouldn't hit any other styles, other moonshines we had out. We had other brands. But I think for us, really, the springtime, I've had a lot of success with the Super Slims. I think it's really just a profile thing. And that 3-color has been all week so consistent for me with the spoon on it. Running the half A-bomb. Blue Slice took the big laker that we had, the super slim. Took that laker. We thought it was a king. It was going hard, and we caught that guy in 20 feet of water. All of our kings were in 20 to 22, 23 feet of water. They were not in the bait. The minute we go over the bait, all cohos. So the coho were in the bait. The kings were outside of the bait. They were just kind of roaming around on the outskirts of them all. And that's where we would catch them. So we put that pattern together pretty good. Absolutely phenomenal bag, and again, not something that's very common to see in Chicago. That's not common to see that many kings in this. I mean, we've got the backdrop of the city in Navy Pier, and we're just whacking kings. So that was Tuesday. Then the next 2 days is Wednesday, Thursday. I went out in the kayak. Same thing. I ran the same program. I was hoping to see if there'd be kings there. I ran the same program from Tuesday that we got kings with up here. Nothing to show for it for kings. Just couldn't keep the coho off. They're just everywhere. They're super aggressive. I poked out to about 55 feet of water on the first day just to check it out and see what's going on out there. None much to show for it, and I slid back in and got my coho limit. Those coho, at least up until this wind came in, I was catching them in 12 feet of water all the way out to 25, So if you're going out there, zigzag in close, come back out a little bit. There was a lot of bait. A lot of the bait on Thursday when I went out was close to the shoreline, real close.
And the shore fishing were tearing them up. So
yeah.
Easy limit, a lot of limits caught from shore pretty quick.
Yep. And then just some other ones. If you've never fished a Super Slims, we got fully stocked. So it was good timing that that we caught these on these guys because we got a bunch of them. I also like the green slice. This is the half green jeans, the Goldilocks, which is like a orange crush on a gold blank, the blue slice, just a handful of ones that are kind of really my go-to spring ones. But that half A-bomb, couldn't recommend it enough to get that in your spoon box there for some spring kings. It was just incredible fishing this week. Really was. Really was. Any questions? Let me catch up on some of the ones you guys left over here. Scott said went out to 25, 30 feet of water, had 5 coho in just over an hour. Baits were on fire. Baits were Fire Tiger, Red Double O Dodger with flies straight out of North Point. Okay. Jason B said, I don't see any Ninja planer board storage solutions on the market. Is there anything you guys recommend?
I don't really know if there's...
No, but
it really just kind of depends on what works for your boat. We just have one of the storage compartments in the boat. We just throw them all in. Yeah. But yeah, it really comes down to your boat and what works out for you. Yep. Plano does make a big empty XXL box that would probably work. I don't know the exact
for the small ones.
Yeah, for the small ones. Yeah, it really just whatever works for your boat. Maybe it's just a duffel bag,
All right. Soil said I was yakking and had to use my safety horn to get a boat to turn because the 4 dudes were too wrapped up setting up lines. That happens. That's another side of it too, right? Like, if you're on a boat, you got to still have someone paying attention to what's going out. I mean, right this time of year, everyone's pretty much in the same area, so you just can't all focus on setting lines. Someone's got to be keep an eye out what's going on in front of you.
And when you're in a kayak, all the years for me in a kayak, I just pretend like I'm invisible out there, just assuming that no one sees you. I just assume get out of their way.
Yeah. Let's see here. Randy said, went out of St. Joe's Thursday, went out to 100 feet of water, 5 coho, missed the pier bite, heard great reports from New Buffalo. Wow, you went out to 100 feet of water. You caught coho out in 100 feet of water already? That's crazy. Wow. Rick said, thanks for the show. Thank you for joining us. Robert said, slower today, but they are there. Yeah. That stirred up water is going to make it a little bit of a, Turtle said, do you run 2 dipsies aside this early, or is it too shallow?
Oh, you definitely can. We don't always do it in our boat, but you'll see the charters do it a lot. If you have enough people in the boat to get that many lines out, or if you just don't have a lot of boards, you can definitely run 2 dipsies aside. I would recommend running some size 0 dipsies and some size 1s. And you're not putting them out. Like when I was fishing on Tuesday, I was using size 1s, but I was only putting them out 12, 15 feet. And that was the ticket. You're almost not even reeling them in. You're almost just lifting them out of the water. Mm-hmm. You can catch them right in the prop wash. So usually dipsies are my best rod, so you might as well put more in.
All right. Rob Steinborn went out Thursday, Michigan City, flat lake. Very few fish caught, though. Fished 30 to 50 feet of water. That's interesting. Why on the southern end, if they're fishing out so deep already? I wonder what's happening down there. That seems like that shouldn't have to, but I don't fish that area down there enough to really know what's happening. But thanks for sharing that. Interesting. Let's see. Atwaska Outdoors. Hopefully I said that properly. Kings are looking to be big this year. It's looking what you're thinking. See anything over 20 pound yet? I've seen a few over 20 pound already. Good signs. I haven't seen anything over 20.
I've seen it. I haven't seen any in person.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple pictures of some pretty good ones. Most of what I'm seeing is between like 6 and 10, occasional 15. But there were a couple I saw that were in pictures that were probably 20s.
Yeah. The ones that we caught were all, like I said, 10 to 12.
Yeah. I think that seems to be the most common size.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably like some 2-year-olds, borderline 3s.
Probably
that
threes.
range weight.
Probably 3s. Yeah.
So? Okay. Chevy guy, how deep do the keel weights run per foot of line at 5/8 ounce?
I don't know. I don't even care when I'm fishing. I'm not even worried about it at all when I go out there. You're fishing top 5 feet with them. You're probably 5 feet down or so, depending on how much line you put out there. Yeah. But it's all for fishing the surface. And to be honest with you, I don't even think about how deep they're actually getting.
Yeah, just with the keel weights, don't worry about how far down they're fishing. What I do is I just focus on how much line I'm letting out.
Yeah.
Let that be the indicator. So I'll put one out, 30, let's say. I'll put another one out 50. I'll put another one out 70. And then whichever one starts taking bites, I'll adjust the other ones to get to that length. And I'll just focus on that feet.
Yeah.
Because wherever that is, it's working, right? So just focus on the actual feet of line out.
Yeah, don't overthink it.
Yeah. All right. To the Core Media went out in the kayak 2 days ago. Had to call it quits after 2 coho. The wind was rough. Went on the pier yesterday, and the wind was even worse, but landed 4, missed a lot more. Sounds good. Smart call. All right. Any other questions before we wrap up things for today? By the way, everything we talked about today is available on the website, lakemichiganangler.com. Like I said, we just got restocked on all the Super Slims here. If you've never tried the Super Slim, again, I really love them in the early spring. It's the profile. Check them out. Give them a shot. We got all of them in stock right now.
And Monday just dropped off a whole ton of flies, so we'll have those updated and packaged up and everything.
Yeah, blue, green, gold, blue lids,
blue, green, and gold, blue lids, cop car, Oz's, some little boy blue peanuts, and then he's got some more midnight dragons, a few other things on the way right now.
Yep. So we got a lot of stuff. Stock up. Get ready. It looks like we'll probably have some fishable days. Tomorrow looks like it's gonna be fishable tomorrow afternoon ish or something like that. But it's gonna be probably be a little challenging because that water needs to settle down.
You settle down. But you know what? This time of year, when the water's really cold, it calms down a lot faster during the summer. So I don't know exactly what the hourly forecast is on the waves and the wind, but you'll probably be able to fish tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow it definitely looks like the winds will be low enough. Things should settle down to be able to fish, whether it's from shore or you want to get out in your boat or your kayak. Just be smart about it. And I presume, with everything kicking up, there'll probably be a mud line out there to some degree. Work that mud line, weave in and out. Probably be the best tip I can give you if you're going to go fish tomorrow. And then it looks like a couple days during the week next week, like midweek, looks very fishable as well. So, get out there and get on some fish. Do Stubby Dodgers work on lead core?
Yep.
Yes, they do.
I've got a lot of fish on stubbies on lead core.
Did I mention I was catching a bunch of fish on the mini flashers? The mini flashers have been, they've been so good for me as well. Let's see here. Do you ever run a full 4-inch fly behind a 00 Dodger?
I usually don't.
I haven't. I will run an 8-inch blade and put the 4-inch. And we took Coho on it on the rigger. We're trying the new Mr. Chrome flasher out, and still hit it. If they want it, they'll hit it, man. Mm-hmm. Yep. Final thoughts, Rob?
Oh, when it calms down, get out there and fish because it's gonna be good again.
Oh, we didn't mention we got these new spoons, did we?
Oh, the beavers?
Yes.
I thought we did that last week.
Did we do it last week?
Well,
I don't recall.
We got beaver spoons in. If we didn't mention it before.
I was gonna grab some real quick to show you. They're really cool, very unique.
We sold.
Oh, they can hear you. Yeah, they can hear you. It's crazy.
We sold a lot of them already. I actually reordered more yesterday. So, cool colors, very unique. Can't wait to try them. I haven't tried any yet, but there's a good, well-made spoon.
Yeah.
So, heard nothing but good things about them so far, and I'm looking forward to trying them. So, I don't know when the rest will be here. Well, we still have a decent amount, but more are on order. So
that's cool to see. It's really cool to see. All right, guys. I think it's going to wrap it up for today's live. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Man, get out there, get some fish. Take advantage of it. One thing I noticed is during this week when I went out, it used to be you go out during the weekday and you pretty much had the water to yourself outside the charters. But on Wednesday and Thursday, it's pretty incredible to see how many people are playing hooky from work or calling off sick or whatever is going on. But a lot of people are out. But take advantage of it and get yourself some fish. So, again, if you need anything, stop on by the shop. We're here today, tomorrow. Order anything we talked about today on the website at lakemichiganangler.com. Appreciate you guys for watching. I will have a video out for the King boat trip we did, where you can see that whole trip, all the kings we caught, and me talking more specifically about the program we were running. That'll be out on Monday, and it's really, really cool. I think you guys will enjoy it. I think that's it, man. You guys have a great day out there. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.